The format for today is going to be a little bit of information and explanation, but hopefully a lot of experiential practices as well, so that you get to really feel the effect of using breathing, using pranayama for yourself in your own practice and in your own life. Now, the theme of this workshop is the notion of newness, creating intention, cultivating new positive energy in our practice so that we can then take that and carry ourselves into the rest of our life. We are going to see how engaging with conscious breathing can help us in these goals. So, what we'll do is start with just a little bit of an introduction, and then we're going to move our bodies a little bit. Um, Yoga is, yes, a physical practice. And so we always want to use the body, but the point of using the body is to help us tap into deeper experiences. So for today's practice, we're going to move the body mostly just to open up the chest and the diaphragm to start to expand into these areas so that we can deepen our breath capacity. So a little gentle movement to begin. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about pranayama and what we're going to do, the specific techniques. We'll then go through all of those techniques, finish with a brief meditation. And then if your day allows you, because of the nature of the webinar, it won't work so well for us to do it together. But if your day allows you to, I'd really like to invite you to set aside, 10 minutes of conscious reflection at the end of the workshop. So when we wrap up in an hour, if you have an extra 10 minutes just to sit and reflect, maybe if journaling is an aspect of your everyday practices or something that you're doing as you undergo treatment, that's something that I would really invite you to utilize right afterwards so that you can ask yourself, ultimately, these tools are for our own individual experiences, and no two people are going to have the exact same experience. So I might make statements for the sake of the group in this practice about what a specific breathing technique, the effect it's going to have on you. And maybe you find afterwards that that's not the effect that it had. And all of those experiences are welcome. And the thing that matters the most is that we are being intentional. So without any more talking, I just want to drop really quickly into a very short exercise to sort of settle us. Okay, so I'm currently seated on the floor. I also have a stool behind me. Comfort is key. So for this first one, just try and find a comfortable position and go ahead, close your eyes. And the reason we're going to close our eyes is because there's been a lot of logistics, a lot of looking at the screen, opening the email, finding the joining link, getting logged on, getting your Zoom to work, putting the computer down, all those decisions and all the little technicalities that brought you into practice, those are over and done with. So like close your eyes and right away there's this shift, an inward looking experience because the eyes are closed. And just start to become aware of the feeling of this seat. So wherever it is that you're resting, feeling that connection between your body and the floor or the chair, the bolster, whatever you might be sitting on, the cushion. See if you're holding yourself up a little bit more than is necessary. Maybe you can just sort of relax through the sitting bones and let the body, the lower half of the body settle. Maybe you start to become aware of the feeling of the palms of the hands as they rest on the thighs or in your lap. We're not trying to make anything happen. We're just becoming aware of our body in space. Perhaps there's sounds, of course, the sound of my voice, but also other sounds around you in the room, in your home. Maybe you can also start to even pick up on some sounds outside. Now I want you to shift your awareness to your breathing, just the natural breath, in and out. And you might start to notice that as soon as I brought your awareness to your breathing, the breath starts to slow down. Maybe you found yourself taking a deep breath in. Our breath really shows us It's such an intimate, immediate, and always available proof of the fact that what we pay attention to changes in its quality. As you breathe here, you feel the soft sensation of the inhale and the exhale in and out through the nose if you can. And be curious, asking yourself, as I breathe in, what do I feel in the nostrils? Like, how does the breath feel as it's coming in? And then compare it. Compare it to the exhale. Can I feel the difference when I breathe out? It might be that one feels easier than the other. It might be that you notice the breath is a little cooler as you breathe it in, a little warmer as you breathe it out. And now, again, just briefly scan in your body. Feel the quality, the sensation of the body relaxing. Good. And now just slowly start to open your eyes again. All right. So we've settled in. We've arrived in our practice. The what I always like to say is that in yoga, our practice is our presence, coming more and more into this current moment. And one of the most wonderful and powerful ways to do that is with the breath, because of course the breath lives and dies in the present moment. So when we connect to that experience of my breath in the here and now, can really pull us out of ruminating about things that have already happened and anticipating things that are yet to come, and really ground us here in our lived experience, which is really going to help us as we move forward in our practice today. Okay, so why do we move our body prior to doing our breathing? We want to open up any tightness that we might be experiencing through the chest and through the diaphragm and the upper abdomen. You know, our body moves through the world with a certain amount of physical tension. And that's true of people who are going through cancer treatment, cancer diagnosis, and also just the general public. So, what we're going to do now is just start to open up the body a little bit, synchronizing with the breath to help us further refine the experience of the breath and then also move into deeper practices. So, when we're moving and when we're doing our breathing, we use a technique called Ujjayi breath. So this is the sort of yogic breath. And the best way to find that, if you've never done it before, is you take your hand up in front of your mouth and you're going to go like you were trying to fog a mirror in front of you. So you feel there's this constriction through the throat as I exhale. Now, try to keep that as you keep the mouth closed. So you're still going to breathe out and in through the nose with that constriction. So you keep that gentle constriction through the throat. Now, you're not clenching your jaw, you're not squeezing your forehead. It's not work, but there is just this engagement of the muscles in the throat as you breathe in and out. And you should be able to hear it. It's this like ocean wave like breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Now, I'll say, I know it's allergy season right now. If you have a big stuffy nose, you're going to do your best today. You're going to, maybe you have to breathe in through the mouth, but you can breathe out through the nose or vice versa. Maybe today you're taking the whole practice through the mouth. This can also be the case when, we've got colds generally. Do your best, but try to practice in and out through the nose as best as you can, as often as you can. Okay. So we breathe with this constriction in the throat. Okay. Now, when we shift from what we call unconscious to conscious breath, a few things happen. One is there's this constriction, and the other is that our breath rate slows down. Okay. So when we're moving unconsciously through the world, we tend to be breathing a lot more rapidly than when we shift to conscious breath. The other thing is that we start to bring in just this little pause at the top of the breath and a pause at the bottom. So rather than this mindless back and forth breathing, we breathe in slowly and smoothly with the constriction, and we pause. And then we breathe out slowly and smoothly with that constriction, and we pause. So we breathe in and we breathe out. This alone is a very powerful technique for calming the mind and the nervous system. We create, there's a expression, shvasa prashvasa, as the breath goes, so the mind goes. So we breathe in and we pause, we breathe out and we pause. We create space in the breath to create space in the mind. Okay. So as we're moving through these techniques, we're always going to just have a little pause at the top and a little pause at the bottom. No rushing one thing to the next. Okay, so all that said, let's start doing a little bit of movement to help explore this breath further. Okay, I'm going to come to sit. If you're feeling like you'd like to do this portion in standing because maybe you've been seated a lot today and you're ready to stand up, that's fine. If you're feeling fatigued, or you have any kind of pain and you'd rather do it sitting, that's fine too, okay? Both will be available to you. Now, as you come to sit or stand, what's important is that we want to feel nice and open through the front of the chest and that the shoulders are relaxing back and down. Go ahead, close your eyes once again, and let's just find our breath here. So as you breathe in, constrict the throat gently, softly breathe in through the nose, watch the breath or feel it move down and into the chest, pause for a minute, and then exhale and watch the breath go back up and out and pause. You breathe in and you breathe out. One more like that, inhaling and exhaling. Wonderful. Okay. One more technique to add before we start to breathe, which is that the belly needs to get involved on the exhale. So as we breathe down and in, we are expanding the lungs. The diaphragm lowers, which allows us to fully expand into the chest, right? We really think of the direction of the breath on the inhale: nose, throat, chest, and then into the upper abdomen. I want you to imagine like you are blowing up a balloon. It's simultaneous and gradual, breathing down and in, and the whole chest is expanding like the balloon. Often you'll see people teach a form of breathing called bucket breathing, which is where you imagine first filling up the belly and then the chest. The reason we don't do this in my lineage is because when we focus on expanding the belly first, that causes the diaphragm to lift and restricts the movement in the lungs, right? Belly goes out, diaphragm lifts. I can no longer fully expand my inhale. You think about somebody who's pregnant, one of the concerns or side effects of pregnancy is that the lungs become restricted and therefore breathing deeply can be difficult, right? So when we breathe into the belly first, we create this pregnancy-like restriction. So instead, think chest first. I assure you, as you breathe in, focus first on the chest. The upper abdomen will fill as well. This sort of navel, right? The rib cage, the chest, all of that is going to expand. Start here first and then send it lower, okay? On the exhale, though, we have to engage the lower belly. So we breathe down and in, we expand nice and full. And then on the exhale, the lower belly is going to contract up and in towards the spine. So we breathe down and in, nose, throat, chest, upper abdomen, all expanding. And then on the exhale, pull the belly up and in. You're gently drawing it in towards the spine, almost like you're squeezing a sponge. You breathe everything back up and out. Always after that exhale, you first relax the belly and then breathe in again. Nose, throat, chest, upper abdomen expand and contract. Lower abdomen draws up and in towards the spine as you breathe everything up and out and pause. Good. Okay. I've thrown a lot of information at you in the first 10 minutes. So that's okay. Just do your best. Know that this comes with time. Okay. This is something that you do over and over and over again, and it just gets more and more refined. The good news is, so long as you're breathing slowly and smoothly, and we're deepening the full inhale and the full exhale, we're exploring that range. This will have wonderful benefits on your central nervous system. When you have those benefits of relaxation, of healing, of rest, this is where the body can promote digestion. This is where we can really settle. All those things are a net benefit, okay? So I'm going to continue to offer lots of different techniques and strategies, and you're just going to do your best, knowing that it will come with time, okay? At any point, you pause, you take rest. All right, let's start to move the body so we can deepen our breath by opening up the chest and the diaphragm. Take a deep breath in, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and as you exhale, just relax them back and down. And already you feel the chest start to open, right? Inhale, the shoulders reach up towards the ears. Exhale, you lower them back and down behind you. You feel the chest and the sternum starts to lift, nice and tall. The back of the neck is long. Breathe in, roll shoulders forwards and up, and exhale back and down. Good. Inhale and exhale. One more time, in and out. Good. Now, we'll start with your right arm. On an inhale, I want you to take that arm out to the side. And as you take it out, you're going to look at the thumb as you go out to the side. You might have to look forward to see me do it first, but eventually that's what you're going to do. You follow the thumb. On the exhale, you're going to take the hand across the body, still looking at the thumb, and take it over towards the opposite shoulder. Wonderful for the neck and the upper back. Inhale, follow your thumb, open. Exhale, take it across. Inhale, open up. My elbow stays soft. Fill the chest, lean back a little bit. Exhale, go across, look down. Inhale. You see, we're already pausing at the top of the breath. Exhale across. Pause at the bottom. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, just lower that right hand back down to the thigh. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel tingling all down the arm, the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the hand, the fingers. Wonderful. All right. I'm looking at the thumb on my left hand. And as I inhale, I'm going to open it up, take it behind the body slightly, and exhale slowly, sweep across. Nothing's hurried here. Look down towards the thumb as it rests on the shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, open. You can explore going a little higher if that feels good. Exhale across. Inhale, open up. Exhale over. Last time, inhale. Exhale, I'm looking at my thumb. Inhale, open up wide. And then just lower that hand back down to the thigh, closing the eyes right away. Just relax, breathe, and feel. Feel the effect. Feel that left arm coming to life. You can feel too the breath starting to get a little deeper. When you can breathe in a little fuller. Now on an inhale, interlace the fingers and press the palms away from you. And as you exhale, bend the elbows and bring the backs of the hands towards the chest. Doing your best here. Inhale, you press away. Exhale, you come back. Inhale, maybe you go a little higher. Exhale back towards you. Inhale a little higher. Exhale to the chest. Inhale up and overhead. This time as you exhale, bend the elbows and you're going to bring the palms to the back of the head. From here, take a deep breath in, lift through the chest, lean back, open through the shoulders. And as you exhale, lower the arms nice and wide, like you were trying to touch opposite wall as you stretch and lower down. Trying that again. On the inhale, arms interlace all the way up and overhead, leaning back. And exhale, bend the elbows, palms to the back of the head. Inhale, think chest lifting forwards and up. Exhale, keep that chest lifted as the arms lower down, maybe slightly behind the body as they come down. Okay, one more time. Interlace the fingers, press out, and stretch. Bend the elbows, palms to the back of the head. Inhale, lift the chest, opening through the elbows. Exhale, lower the arms down by your side. Hands rest on the thighs. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes, take a deep breath out. Relax the eyes, the jaw, the throat. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Wonderful. All right, seated or standing, inhale, arms out to the side, wide. Really lean back, lift the chest. And as you exhale, you're going to fold over the legs, bring the belly towards the thighs, and let the head hang nice and heavy. Inhale, open up, lift up, lean back. Exhale, fold. And relax. Keep going. Inhale, you open up. If folding forward is too much, on the exhale, you're just going to give yourself a big hug where you try and grab opposite shoulders. Inhale, you open back up. And then either fold or exhale, hug, and just cross opposite arm over now. We're going to do it 2 more times. Take whichever feels good. Inhale, open up wide. Exhale, keep the chest open as you fold, and then let the head come down. Relax. Inhale, open chest as you come up. Feel the shoulder blades draw together. You feel the lift through the sternum. And exhale, last time. Inhale, come all the way up. And then just lower the hands down to the thighs as you exhale. Once again, close your eyes, relax, and just observe. Feel the quality of the breath. Maybe you can remember what it felt like when we first started breathing, that first exercise that we did. Maybe already you're starting to feel a certain freedom in the breath, a quality of space that we're carving out in the chest, in the upper back, in the back of the rib cage, the sides of the waist. And because of this mind-body connection, we're deepening the ability to sort of consciously send the breath somewhere, expand into an area that maybe felt sticky and tight before. Okay, wonderful. Now we're going to move into the pranayama, okay? So first thing that's most important is that you find a comfortable seated position. Now, that can be seated in the chair like this. It can be seated on the floor. I'm going to move down to the floor because that's how I feel more comfortable today, but it can change day to day. So you make sure that you are doing what feels good. We say that we want to have 2 qualities, stiram and sukham. And stiram is the quality of energy and attention without tightening. There's no tension there, right? So that means my spine is upright, my shoulders are back and down, I'm alert, right? There's a upward quality in my spine without my shoulders going up towards the ears and I'm straining. The other quality, sukham, is this idea of like relaxation without dullness. So the sitting bones feel nice and soft, heavy, relaxed. There's a quality of ease. The jaw is not clenched, the eyes are soft, but you're not slumping down, right? So stiram and sukham. That leaves us in a position where we'll be able to breathe the most deeply and get the most benefit from the practice. So take a moment if you need to adjust. You find a comfortable seated position, and an invitation is always there to adjust as needed. So throughout the practice, maybe something that feels good for the first 5 minutes doesn't feel good over the next, we're about to spend a good 20 minutes doing conscious breath work. So you are always welcome to adjust to make sure that you're as comfortable as you can be. If we are creating strain for the sake of doing a practice, then we're undoing the positive work, right? So we want to make sure that we feel easeful. Now, it's important to know as we transition into pranayama that we really need to keep that ujjayi breath that we were talking about. Long, smooth, deep, conscious breathing, okay? There are two main techniques that we're going to work with. One, you've already been doing, so good job. You've already got that one. Ujjayi, right? Breathing in or out through both nostrils with that gentle constriction in the throat. The other technique that we'll be doing is called alternate nostril breathing. And all that means is that we close off one nostril as we breathe in and out, in or out through the other, depending on the technique that we're in the middle of doing. So classically, you would take your right hand, take your pointer finger and your middle finger into the palm, and then your thumb closes off the right nostril, and the ring finger closes off the left. And that's how you would use the alternate nostril breathing as you're cued. If I say close the right, you would close the right with the thumb. If I say close the left, you close the left with the ring finger. This, though, can cause some cramping in the hands sometimes. It can also be a lot on the shoulder. So the invitation is there. You can always feel free. If I say close the right, just take your index finger and close the right nostril. If I say close the left, just take your left index finger and close the left nostril. Now, you don't need to close at the opening. The opening is quite large. And if I try to close at the opening, I really have to sort of yank on the nose. Much higher up, just below the bridge, you'll feel the space where the opening, there's a meeting of the soft tissue and the cartilage. And you can just very gently press on that. And suddenly that nostril is closed, okay? So go a little bit higher than the opening. It'll make it much easier and gentler for you to close the nostril. We're going to work through three main techniques here, okay? The first one is one where we focus on clearing away. Of course, before we can set any positive intentions, it's very helpful for us to release and let go, okay? So this is an exhale focus technique. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through both nostrils, and then we'll close one nostril and breathe out. All right. So best thing to do, rather than looking at me to see what I'm doing, just listen. That tends to be best, is if people close their eyes and just listen, because otherwise, especially virtually like this, you're going to see me. It's going to look like it's the opposite nostril of yours. You might get confused. So I promise I'll be as clear as possible in the breathing techniques, and you can just focus on that with the eyes closed. All right. So let's begin here. Comfortable seated position, gentle constriction in the throat. The breath is slow and smooth. The jaw is relaxed and the eyes are closed. You take a deep breath in. Close your right nostril and start to breathe out through the left. You lower your hand. You take a deep breath in. Close your left nostril and start to breathe out through the right. Wonderful. That's one round. Okay, we'll go again. You breathe in, both nostrils. Close the right nostril and breathe out through the left. Remember to contract the lower belly up and in as you breathe out. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Round two done. Great, let's keep going. Breathe in. Close the right nostril, breathe out. You contract the belly, but the rest of the body relaxes and releases. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Keep going. Breathing in. You might notice the inhale deepens as you start to lengthen the exhale. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left nostril and breathe out through the right. Squeeze the belly. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the right nostril and breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left nostril and breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and breathe in. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left nostril and breathe out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Breathe in, expand, nose, throat, chest, upper abdomen. Close the right nostril and breathe out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower, breathe in. Close the left, exhale through the right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Just give yourself a moment there. Take rest. Let the natural breath come back. So this exhaling, it's a energetic, physiological, and physical release. You are letting go. You are doing away with. Okay? So as we move through it just for a few more rounds, I really want you to cultivate this energy of, as I breathe out, what is it that I'm releasing? What is holding on to me that I don't need anymore? What can I let go? I'm putting that down. Okay? Now, you don't necessarily need to go into the words or the story of it. If nothing immediately comes to mind, you don't have to make something up. All you need to focus on is the quality of surrendering, of relaxation, and of ease as you breathe out. You are releasing. Make sure that lower abdomen stays engaged as you breathe out, okay? Now, the fact that we're closing one nostril means that there's literally less space for that breath to leave, which should allow you to lengthen that exhale a little bit. If you find you can't breathe out for all 6 seconds, that's fine. Just pause and hold after the exhale until we get to 6, okay? Do your best. If you need to take a breath in and out and pause, that's fine. For the sake of the group, we'll keep going. And then we're going to switch and then we'll ultimately balance. But for now, the focus is on let it go, relax, ease, soft. The only part of the body that is engaging actively and contracting on the exhale is the lower belly pulling up and in. We need that belly compression to get the full expression of the exhale as we lift up and out, okay? So again, this is an opportunity. Adjust your seat if you need. Take a breath, take a break, take a sip of water if you need, and then otherwise we'll keep going here, okay? So let's try this again. Take a deep breath in. Close your right nostril and exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close your left nostril and breathe out. Relax your face, your eyes, your shoulders, the arms, the legs, the face, the feet, the hands. You breathe in. Close the right, breathe out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hand, breathe in. Close the left, breathe out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round. Breathe in. Close the right nostril, breathe out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and breathe in. Close the left and breathe out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now just take a deep breath in. And then through both nostrils, take a long, deep breath out. Again, a deep breath in. And a long, deep breath out. Now you relax and let your natural breath return. Still breathing softly in and out through the nose, but you're not trying to constrict the throat or breathe deeply. You're just relaxing and breathing. And you've cleared away physiologically, energetically, psychologically. There's been a bit of a release. So now we invite in. We call these our samkalpas. These are the positive word, positive affirmation. What is it that I want to cultivate in my life? And if that's too big of a question, start small. What do I want to cultivate in this practice for the next 10 minutes? There might be a word that immediately jumps out. You know, if you've been doing work elsewhere in your cancer journey, maybe you have a positive mantra already. And I always say, my teachers always say, you know, if you don't know where to start, peace is a wonderful place for all of us to work towards. So that can just be, you know, may I have more peace in my practice? May I have more peace in my life? But there might be other words, joy, love, equanimity, um, you know, being non-attached, non-reactive. There are other things that we might want to cultivate as well. So whatever is coming to mind for you today, now we're focusing more on that inhale, inhaling, holding after the inhale, and keeping the exhale more relaxed. Okay. So when we breathe in, it's like you're fertilizing. You are sowing the seed and then fertilizing the ground for that energy to be cultivated in the body. So before we begin that again, there's a word that's positive that brings me toward a certain quality that I want to have, either right now or also in my life. I'm going to just hold that word, say it internally to yourself 3 times. It's like a seed, and you're planting it at the center of the heart. And now, again, now that you know that word, that sankalpa is at the center of the heart. So as you breathe in, you breathe into that word. You breathe into that feeling. You're bringing it to life as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, always that focus of relaxation and ease. That's the state of the body that we have to find before we can sow the positive, right? Okay, so we're just flipping the technique now. Now, instead of breathing in through both nostrils and breathing out through alternate nostril, we're going to breathe in through alternate and breathe out through both. Okay, so when you're ready, you're going to close your right nostril and you're going to breathe in through the left. You lower the hand and you breathe out through both nostrils and you relax. Close the left nostril, you breathe in through the right. You lower the hand and you breathe out, contracting the belly and relaxing the body. Good, that's one round. Let's keep going. Close the right nostril, breathe in through the left. Lower the hand and breathe out. Close the left nostril, breathe in through the right. Lower the hand and breathe out. One more time like that. Close the right, breathe in through the left. Again, you're nourishing your positive word that's at the heart center. You lower the hand and you breathe out and relax the body. Close the left nostril, breathe in through the right. And then lower the hand and breathe out. Wonderful. We're going to start to cultivate a little hold at the top of our breath. So as I breathe in, it's like I can feel as though what does it feel like in the body if that word, that positive affirmation is already alive in me? You breathe into that on the inhale, and then we're going to hold. You're just going to stay in that feeling before we exhale and relax, okay? So feet's tall. You're also easeful through the bottom half, spine reaching up towards the ceiling. The back of the neck is long, chin's drawing down ever so slightly. And then you're going to Close your right nostril, breathe in through the left, and hold for 1, 2, and then breathe out through both nostrils and relax. Close the left nostril, breathe in, and hold 1, 2, lower the hand, breathe out. Close the right nostril, breathe in through the left. Hold 1, 2, 3, exhale. Close the left nostril, breathe in through the right. Holding for 3, you can lower the hand, and then exhale through both nostrils, breathe out. Contract the belly, keep lifting it up and in towards the spine. Relax your belly, close the right nostril and breathe in. Holding for 1, 2, 3, 4. You breathe out through both nostrils. Close the left, breathe in through the right. Holding for 1, 2, 3, 4. Lower the hand, breathe out. Once again, just take a deep breath in through both nostrils now. And then deep breath out, relax. Again, breathe in long and deep. Let the exhale be nice and soft. Freely breathe out. Keep your eyes closed. Keep the breath soft. Just stay for a moment. Call that word back into presence. What does it feel like? Experiencing it in the body as though it were already present in you. And again, don't choose something that feels daunting or intellectual. Choose something that feels intuitive. The same way you would like reach for water when you're thirsty, that word should just feel like, oh, right. Something that just feels good. Wonderful. Now take a deep breath in through both nostrils and a deep breath out. Okay, we're going to combine these techniques. You pay attention, you listen. We've already done everything. Oh, what can I try if my mid back gets stiff? Great question. So somebody's asked, what can I try if my mid back gets stiff during this practice? I've tried sitting and standing. So there are days or maybe seasons in our lives where physical pain is just interfering with your ability to find the ease in the practice. And what I always say in that case is just lie down. Make yourself comfortable. If that can be on the floor, it's better to have just a slight resistance, so that you can breathe in. But if it's got to be in bed or on the couch, that's okay too. So make yourself comfortable, prioritize that. This alternate nostril technique that we're doing, you're not going to do lying down. You're still going to do constricted throat. You're still going to breathe in and out through the nose. But my cues of close the right, close the left, you can just let those go. I assure you, if you do nothing but just lie on your back and do the breathing as it's being counted without any of this technique, you'll still get tons of benefit because, again, when we breathe diaphragmatically, we are toning our vagal nerve that runs along the diaphragm, as well as other aspects, help regulate nervous system response, puts us into parasympathetic nervous response, which is the place where we rest, where we downshift, where we come out of fight and flight, which is sort of, particularly when we're facing cancer diagnosis and treatment, a state that we're living in, right? So we relax, soften. So whatever you need to do to help get you there is the priority over what specific techniques you're doing. If you can stay seated with comfort, then come along with me. But otherwise, if you want, you go ahead and you lie down. Okay, so we're now going to combine the two techniques. And so you'll just listen carefully to me as I guide you through a few rounds of this breathing. All right. So as you inhale, you take a deep breath in through both nostrils. You're going to close the right nostril and breathe out through the left. Now stay like that and breathe in through the left. Good. Now you lower your hand and you breathe out through both. Stay like that. Breathe in through both. Close your left nostril and breathe out through the right. Stay like that. Breathe in through the right. Lower the hand and breathe out through both nostrils. Good. That's one round. We keep going. Breathe in. Fertilize that positive word. Hold for a moment and just feel it alive in the body. Close the right nostril and breathe out. Again, breathe in. Feel the vitality as you inhale. Holding without tension. Lower the hand and breathe out through both nostrils. Inhaling through both nostrils. Pausing to hold for a moment. Close the left nostril, breathe out, and draw your belly up and in. Squeeze. Stay like that. Breathe in slowly, smoothly. Hold for a moment. And then exhale through both nostrils. Breathe out. Soften your face. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. One more round like that. So breathe in deeply through both nostrils. Close your right nostril and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Lower the hand and breathe out. Through both nostrils, breathe in. Close the left nostril, breathe out through both. Inhale through the right. Pausing to hold for a moment before lowering the hand and exhaling through both nostrils. Breathe out. Good. Just take a deep breath in. Through both nostrils, a deep breath out. Wonderful. Okay. Now we've used all those techniques to come back to the place where we first began. Inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils. No longer doing any of the closing, so you don't have to think about that. We're going to deepen the breathing though, okay? So again, an invitation now, if you are starting to feel tight or tense, you can lie down because you're not going to have to close your nostrils. If you feel okay in seated, you stay there. I'm just going to adjust my seat. Wonderful. So we're sitting nice and tall, shoulders relaxing, eyes closed. Go ahead, take a deep breath in, that gentle constriction. Nose, throat, chest, upper abdomen expands. The exhale, draw the lower belly up and in towards the spine, like you were pulling a string up and in. Breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 2, 3, 4. Now exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You breathe in for 4, and you breathe out for 5. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4. And breathe out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4. Think of the heart center expanding with the breath. Now just hold for 2 and then breathe out. 6, 5, 4. If you can't breathe out the whole time, you just pause. 1. Relax the belly in for 4. Holding strong. 2. Exhaling for 6. In for 4. Holding now for 4. 2, 3, 4. Relax for 6. In for 4. Hold for 4. And exhale 6. In for 4. Hold for 4. Relax for 6. Inhaling for 4. Holding for 4. Breathe out for 6. Bring in your word. Breathe into it. Hold it in the body. Feel it. And then relax. Soften, settle, and surrender. Breathe in. Receive. You hold in a place of fullness without tension, and then fully release. You breathe into that word in the center of the chest, inhaling. As you hold, the whole body, every cell is filled with that quality. And as you exhale, you relax, and the whole body softens, releasing what no longer is necessary, what no longer serves you. Breathe in. Hold in that fullness. And exhale, release, relax, let go. Inhaling, holding, release. Breathe in. And hold, release. In, hold, and out. In, hold, out. In, hold, and out. In, hold, out. Now just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Keep your eyes closed. Keep everything soft. Let your natural breath return. Feel the breath in the nose as you freely breathe in and out, taking nothing for granted, making no assumptions. What does it feel like as I breathe in and out? One of the most ancient meditative practices, breath awareness. What do I feel as I breathe in and out? Follow the inhale, follow the exhale. Now, can you do the same thing in your throat? Shifting the awareness down to the throat, inhaling and exhaling softly. Now do the same thing with the chest. Just follow the feeling as you breathe in and out. Everything soft. And if the mind wanders, that's fine because that's the nature of the mind. We expect that to happen. We just invite it back. What do I feel as I breathe in and out? And you might say, I don't know. I don't feel anything. That's fine. You just stay following the inhale and the exhale. Breathing in, I'm aware of my inhale. Breathing out, I'm aware of my exhale. And then one last time, calling back your word, that intention, that guiding North Star principle for you, for your practice today, but also what you're hoping to carry into the rest of your day, that positive word. Maybe a gentle smile as you feel the word alive within you, the quality of the thing. And then if it feels appropriate to do so, you can bring palms together in front of the heart. You can rest them on the chest too. You can also leave them in your lap. And as you breathe in, you're aware of this quality within you alive. And as you exhale, you bow down and send it out to everybody gathered here in practice today. For you, for me, for us, for all. Thank you so very much for your practice. Namaste.